And it's still a mystery to me who I'm inviting from Clutch. They have not
Oh,
responded. I think I have both people on my list though. You have Colonel and Gautspeed, so they're both on, so they both have an invite. We'll see where that goes. But we're coming up on the time where we're going to want to start to think about the map ban, getting everything
yeah.
sorted out here. I think we've covered mining relatively well. There are a couple. Oh, actually, one more thing. If you are a newer player, some things to watch out for are these corners here. So there's the generally down under these trade positions in D4 and Echo 4. This low ground around the outside of it, absolute death trap. Absolute death trap zones. Basically, what the issue is there is angles. Those top mechs, especially if they've got arm mounts, can fire down on you and kind of hit you wherever. However, if you're on the bottom, you can only kind of hit their most armored spots or their torsos. You need to have someone either covering you from up top to even escape that, or just GTFO. Quite frankly, here I'll sort of highlight these positions. You do not want to get stuck here, and you see it all the time in quick play. And you'll see players taking these top positions up here. Again, let's see, is green going to stand out? No. How about the pink? Pink stands out pretty well. These positions up here, these power positions, and then also you are catching fire often depending on which zone you're in from across the map as well. And if they happen to have force on theta, it just absolutely makes you surrounded in these areas. These are generally death zones. They are moved through. Do not stop. If you get stuck there, you need to reposition and find something else. That's another thing to look out for. There's a couple other like little trap zones in here, but those are probably the big four that you need to look out for. And then fights around the outside again will go generally to the teams that have the high ground. All right, so a couple of reminders that are here. Ben, I see that. Hydrate. Cheers to you. So a couple of things that we are going to be looking at. I don't know what scene to sit at. Let's sit on the I guess the lobby screen here. So things that we that bear mentioning, we are on a 7-minute delay now, not a 5-minute delay. So that is something to keep in mind as something that we are doing. That is new this year. And also, if you're on MWO Leagues, go check out MWO Leagues 2 for Therex's point of view and vice versa. If you are on 2, feel free to check out my point of view on regular leagues. Otherwise, we are
We're
moving along.
Probably just getting to time here for that map ban. If the teams are getting in here. I guess while they're getting in, we could start talking about how these teams got to the Invitational. So
yes,
we've got ABINs and Clutch. So ABINs will be the 2 seed, Clutch will be the 7 seed. So Clutch has got an uphill fight here. ABINs had a 3rd place finish in ISC Season 5 Div A. Then they had a 2nd place finish in Division A of Blood League Season 2. And I'm not seeing them as having played Tournament of Stars. They would have already qualified for the Invitational just based off of their other 2 tournament finishes. Although I believe that a whole bunch of the ABINs players are playing on Empyreon in Tournament of Stars, but that's, I believe, considered a separate, distinct team, so I'm not going to bring them up here again.
Yes.
Whereas Clutch had a 1st place finish in Division C of ISC 5. So that kind of, a lower start. Division B in tournament, not Tournament Stars, Blood League Season 2, the 2nd tournament, they had a 6th place finish in Division B, which is a little bit of a disappointment for them, I imagine. And then coming into the last tournament, Tournament of Stars, the Clutch ended up finishing 5th in Division B. So they are definitely punching up here, and it's going to be an uphill fight. We'll see if they can pull something off. But it'll again take some special strategies, I do believe. I don't think they can just play it completely straight. But again, Clutch is not known for playing things straight in terms of their strategies. I managed to spectate a couple of their games, and they were doing some hard flanks from behind with ice ferrets or whatever. So we'll see what they do here. but definitely Aubins is favored coming into this match. Heavily favored, I would say.
Yeah, I would think so. I am looking forward to Clutch because one thing you can say about them, they last year they got knocked out of the top 12 on the very last night. I think they decided to take a break that last night in the queue and ended up just getting pushed out by other teams that were taking some elo.
Yeah.
That was a very exciting last night. I don't know if you were in on some of that. So there are so it was we were keeping tabs on each other. There was someone out there that was doing a stream of the lobbies of one of the teams that was going, and there were some really interesting upsets going on, and a lot of shifts that very last day. It was a nail biter. I was playing for DPS at that time, and we were right on the cusp there. We were pushing for it, and there was a lot of movement. So Clutch got pushed out, but they were in that top 12 until that last night. So they have a lot of potential as a team. So, and they and like you said, they pull some of the most unexpected stuff. Like them and GNX, you never know what's coming from them. And it's always an interesting match with them, especially and from a caster point of view, I love casting these teams.
Yeah,
you never know.
And even if Clutch doesn't manage to make it through into the top 12 through the Invitationals here, where 4 teams are qualifying directly through the Invitationals here today, and then the other 8 teams are going to be taken out of the comp queue that's starting up in a couple of weeks. Clutch could very well qualify through the comp queue if they don't get it here today through the Invitational. So they could definitely be a top 12 team going forward here with Championship Series 2023. Even if they don't direct qualify, they're definitely a top 12 contender to get into that top 12 through the comp queue. I do remember a little bit playing that last night on of comp queue last year. I was with Smoke Adders. I believe we finished like 16th or something. And there was a significant elo gap between us and the teams that were challenging for that 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th place finishes, right? There's kind of a cluster there. We were below that cluster. We were kind of trying a little bit, but didn't really have much of a shot, but we still had some entertaining games that last night. And I've played in a final day of comp queue in the past where it's just really sweaty, try hard stuff. That last couple of hours, you're banging it out against other teams that are trying to claw their way in. And that's some of the most fun matches I've ever played of MechWarrior Online. You've got something at stake there. Everyone's fighting, just trying to get in. Good times.
Yep. Therex, keep talking for a bit. I have to do some screenshots of some rules and stuff.
Great. So still waiting for the teams to show up here. But for anyone who has not played in a World Championship Series before CompQ in the past, MechWarrior Online is running on the CompQ once again this year. What is it? 4th time that CompQ is going to be turned on, and it's a separate queue that you can participate in. Anyone who's watching, whatever. The requirements for playing in CompQ quite low. You have to have played your 25 games of MechWarrior Online in Quick Play to get your cadet out of the way. So if you want to play in CompQ and you don't have a MechWarrior Online account, download the game, start playing today. And if you own one mech and you've played 25 games of Quick Play, you can play CompQ. You need to find a team. There's resources in the MWO Comp Discord to try and help hook you up with a team or allow you to recruit a team. You can also do the same thing off the official forums or Reddit, your other Discord servers, whatever. It's going to be an 8v8 5-cap format, the same format the teams are playing here today, just using a different interface. And it's a fun time. You get the teams that are actually trying to go for the top 12 World Championship, and then you also have the teams that are just kind of playing for fun, the casual teams. So all levels of skill are welcome to play, and the more teams that are participating, the better the matchmaker will work. So if there's a bunch of casual teams playing at the same time, they should be playing up against other casual teams at least the majority of the time. Everyone start getting prepared, get ready. We've got the CompQ kicking off in 3 weeks from now. remember the exact dates. They were moving those around a little bit.
That is true. Let me see what the
They changed
latest
that
on
once or
that is.
twice.
It'll be patch day. That's the easy thing. It's gonna be patch day. Let's see where
Patch day is team formation, but the actual games start on
I think that
August
is where
24th.
it changed to. Yep.
August 24th is the first day of matches.
Yep. So that is coming up, and that'll go till. Oh, here's an interesting thing on that. That'll go until October 1st. Actually, here, let me get this here.
October 24th actually would be the queue close because
the queue close. But hang on, a couple steps here. Yeah, if you're going for rewards, if you're going for that top 12, your cutoff is October 1st or 2nd. There, let me find
October
the thing.
1st,
It is October 1st. At that point, the top 8 teams will be invited to the top 12 tournament. After that point, they won't be able to participate in the comp queue.
Yeah.
Comp queue will then essentially continue to be open for anyone to vie for those top 25 spots. There's a special decal for top 25. So there is something to there, and your rewards 60 games, and you get
yeah, I mean, just for playing 60 games, you get a unique camouflage 30% C-bill bonus Timberwolf S, the championship series. It's brand new edition of the Timberwolf, but otherwise identical to your Timberwolf S. You get a whole bunch of MC just for 20 games. You get that Timberwolf, 6K MC, 3 million C-bills, 273 GSP, 5 mech bays, and 3 brand new colors that you can apply to any of your mechs. I mean, that is like literally just play 20 games. You can go 0-20 and you will get all of that stuff. And if you keep playing, you go for the 60 games, you get another 1,000 MC for every 10 games that you play. That puts you up to a total of 10,000 MC just for playing 60 games of ComQ. A whole bunch of C-bills, GSP, mech bays, like all the stuff, you know? The rewards are insane. And you don't have to have a skill set to play. Like, literally, complete your 25 games of Cadet on your account. If you're a brand new player downloading today, it takes 25 games of quick play. And then if you own a mech, you're now allowed to play ComQ. Like, it's that simple. You got to find a team. You do have to pre-form a group of 7, at least 7 players in order to play in the ComQ. But bar for entry is pretty low, and rewards are right up there.
Rewards are insane. And then on top of that, the tournament support pack will be getting announced eventually. You have a little information of that. I cannot give it to you. Check the comp discords. There have been a couple of little teasers. I know we've seen a piece of I think it looks like maybe a mounted item, maybe from Frostbite. There's a little bit of info there in the, you're gonna have to fish for it. I'm sorry. But yeah, there are gonna be multiple levels that has been announced, and it's fantastic. Some stuff that has never been done before. It's going to be a real cool thing. So be sure to support that pack. That does go to the prize pool.
We should get that map ban rule here.
We got a few minutes. We got a few minutes to continue to chat, and we're going to do it in about 5 minutes. We'll do about 5 minutes for the map ban and launch right after that. That's where I've got that sorted. So just a reminder, if anyone is coming in for the second match, we are on a 7-minute delay. If you want Therex's point of view, who is our co-cast, he's on MW Leagues 2. So go check that out. You can watch them side by side. Definitely check it out. Let's see here. What else have we got to talk about? I don't know. Got 5 minutes.
5 minutes, eh?
What do you think?
Well, I mean,
what else can we pull? You know what? Let's go over the format again real quick. That'll probably take us about 5 minutes. I'll let you take care of that.
Sure. So we're doing it's an 8v8 5-cap conquest. It's invitational for the Championship Series 2023. So these teams that are playing today, if they win their match, they're in. They're in the top 8. They're actually in the top 12 final bracket. They actually get directly into the top 4. There's going to be a seeding tournament for the teams that qualify today to determine who's seed 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. They get a bypass playing in ComQ entirely, which if you're a casual player, you're probably excited about having a little bit less of the elite teams available to face, but if you're an elite team, maybe you want to be bypassing the comp queue so you can just focus on practice entirely. So it is 5 cap conquest, 480 ton limit for both teams, and there's also chassis limit where they cannot have duplicate chassis, so they can only bring 1 ice ferret, for instance, or 1 fire starter. And then also they cannot exceed 3 of a weight class. So if they can only bring 3 lights, they cannot bring 4 lights, but they can bring up to 3 lights or up to 3 mediums. And out of that, they're picking out their 8 mechs. So, and plus the 480 ton limit. So they got to build a drop deck that is compatible to those conditions. Beyond that, only mechs that are currently released for C-Bills or MC are able to be played, or identical variants. So if you have a Timberwolf S, for instance, like the I don't know, like the bracket position there, the special Timberwolf or the Origins Timberwolf or the championship Timberwolf, whatever, you can bring that if it's identical to a variant that's available for C-Bills. But so you can't play the legendary mechs or the Stone Rhino. Those are the only mechs that are not currently allowed in the Championship Series 2023. Stone Rhino is only coming out for C-Bills, I believe, in March? February? March? I think it's March.
Yeah, March, I think, is the current. They're looking at maybe pushing some things up.
Yeah, there might be a change on that. I mean, stay tuned to the... But for the comp queue itself, the Stone Rhino is not going to be available, and the legendary mechs are not going to be available to play. But other than that, it's kind of wide open. You can play Land Tech, you can play Inner Sphere mechs. That's kind of fairly free and open format. Now, the players are going to be banning maps here in a little bit, or choosing maps. This is a best of 5. So we will play at least 3 maps, potentially all 5. And team captains get to select the maps that they want to be playing here. Just waiting for things to kind of, everybody get in the lobbies and all of that. So yeah, there are 5 maps that are available in comp queue and for play here today. Crimson Strait, Hibernal Rift, the Mining Collective, Polar Highlands, and Vitric Station. So the teams are going to be choosing which maps they want to be playing, and then choosing team sides as well. And these are the same maps that are going to be available in comp queue for anyone who's looking to start planning out their map strats.
And this is a great resource. I'm glad you said that. That is a great thought. It is this is a great resource for newer teams. Watch what these teams do. Watch what the teams that win, watch what happens, learn from it. This is going to be a great thing to show your team if you are not if you're still working on that.
If you're looking for a really easy way to do your team strats and drop decks, you can just copy these guys' homework.
Literally, have done that with scrims. It's one of the big scrim things. Okay. All right, let's go. All right, let's start off the map ban. Here we go.
All right. So, ABIN as the high seed gets to pick the first map.
Yep. Indeed they do.
And they've gone for Polar Highlands as the first map.
All right.
And now we are waiting for Clutch's pick.
I'm just going to be best off watching
it. Are they still awake?
Taking their times to... There we go.
There we go. Okay,
if they
so
don't,
second map
is
Mining Collective.
If they don't make a choice in time, it will... It'll move them around. It'll select for them if they...
Oh, are these auto picks, or is this actually...
Well, it depends on how long. I don't think we hit the full minute. They should have a minute to choose, so they probably just had to think about that. What are their strongest maps? And that is... This is an elimination round. It is the best of 5. And we will leave it at 3 if it is a straight sweep. So it behooves these teams to choose their strongest maps first. That being said, the amount of filler that we have to do would be highly reduced if Clutch would at least take a match off these guys. We shall see. Again, this is the knockout round. These top seeds are going against some lower seeds, so
You know,
there are heavy favorites, but it does not preclude any outcome.
I've got my lunch sitting here on my desk, so if a team wants to sweep the other team, I don't object either.
Oh well, then you got to talk instead of eating lunch. That's how. Well, actually, I guess I can talk.
Yeah, that's what we'd be doing. Um, just waiting for the third map pick to come in here.
Yeah. Let me check the chat, see if there's any. See what's going on here. Looks like we got someone typing in all chat where they should be typing in team chat. Oops, oops, oops. All right, let me see here.
I'm not entirely sure who this player is, so I don't know. There's been some renames in MechWarrior Online competitive scene. It's sometimes hard to keep track of which player is which.
Yes. You kind of that right click find profile on Discord. Oh, here we go. Vitric.
We've got Vitric Station as the third map. And we're waiting for Clutch to pick the fourth here. So Hibernal Rift is the fourth, and then Crimson Strait will be the fifth. If it comes to that.
Let's see. Let's do this based on 8. Now we pick sides, starting with Hibernal. No, not Hibernal, Polar. Sorry, things are small.
I don't actually see that on my
there we go.
Overlay here.
ABIN's is going to be Team 1. It's the little mechs in the corners. So now we're looking at, and so it's left. So since the left one is blue, that means ABIN's is Team 1. Okay. And we're waiting on. This is interesting. I would think that they would have preferred sides at this point. Having choice, I think I would want Team 2, as we discussed earlier. It's got those open ports. It is generally the better side, so I would expect Clutch to take Team 2, which they did, or Team 1. No, Clutch took Team 1 that one. Interesting. All right. On to Vitric Station choices. Again, this one more of a very much symmetrical map. There's a little bit of difference on the left or right side and access points. Those very subtle differences there. We'll see. Let's see what's happening in here. Yeah, it looks like ABIN's having some conversation. Oh, what do we got here? All right, ABIN's Team 1. And then we've got ABIN's Team 1 again. And our last one is going to see ABIN Team 1. All right. That makes my job a little bit easier. All right. All right. We're going to go ahead and actually hang on. ABIN starts Team 1. So I'm going to swap sides.
Yeah, so kicking things off with Polar Highlands, that is something. This is not the Polar Highlands that you might remember from several years ago if you haven't been playing recently. Let's go ahead and pull that up on the map strat here. Find it.
All right, here we go. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to send us back to the lobby screen. And I'm going to go ahead and give Team 1 their 5-minute timers. Right on time. Look at that. That is, they like timed that out. That's beautiful. Took us exactly 5 minutes to do that.
Nice. I've pulled up the map strats here for.
Yeah, let's talk about that while they get going here. There we go.
So the Polar Highlands spawns are set quite far back for both teams. There's a lot of walking to do just to get going here, and what I'm thinking here, trying to decide which is which side of the map, because one of these is Kappa, one of them is Gamma, and everything's white from an overhead view. But on the one side, you've got a pretty good castle. On the other side, not so much. Now, castle side is, if I can tell, zooming in here. That's Gamma, is it not, with the castle?
Yes, Gamma should have the castle.
So
yes.
the Gamma's the one with the
Gamma's castle side.
That's if you're taking range trade, getting something up high over at this this upper tower here can give you a lot of control on the map. But if you're sending like a stalker up there, it is like literally a minute and a half of walking from your spawn to get to that cap, or to around that cap point. So the other way to play this map would be more playing around Theta, if a team were to just decide to do that. And there's some elevated positions around Theta. You don't actually want to go down onto Theta with your mechs, generally speaking. But there are a number of decent trade positions just set up kind of in a bit of a circle around Theta. There's other further range trade positions as well if teams are trying to play that extreme range trade game. But I'm a fan of the Gamma position. It just takes too long to get there.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very strong position though. And I honestly expect ABINs to take 1 or 2 mechs up there. It is very, very strong. And quite frankly, if you think it just takes too long, it'll take the other team just as long to get there. Maybe a little more, it's a little, there's a little bit of a distance difference as it were. But it is walking simulator for the first minute. That being said, it allows you to distribute your mechs before you see the other ones, right? So you think like having closer positions would be a whole, like a whole thing, where it would result in less walking. Yes, but having more time to distribute your mechs, especially your slow movers can get out on those flanks better than they can if those spawn points were moved up.
That said, I think Gamma's too slow for something like an Annihilator or Direwolf. Like I'm thinking more Stalker or Blood Asp if you are sending something to Gamma. There's a difference between 53 kph and 64 kph. Like there really is when you're traveling this length of a distance to get somewhere. So if they do take Annihilator or Direwolf, I don't know if the Annihilator's going to see play this championship series it did in previous ones, but those mechs might be sitting more back in a Hotel 10, India 10, or something like that, as opposed to trying to make it out to the Fox 9 Gamma position. Blood Asp is a strong mech right now, and it does have some speed, or an Executioner with ERPCs. That's maybe more the type of mech that you see going for Gamma here, if teams elect to use it, which I anticipate.
Yeah, I mean, you can even throw a Crusader with PPCs up there.
Sure.
All sorts of stuff to get there real quick, as well.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see if we see any like large laser lights at this point, because the Wolfpack again can be very strong, but you've got enough of a map that a large or heavy later Arctic Cheetah or something like that could really do a lot of damage if left unchecked.
ABINs is known for playing some off-meta type stuff, so they might bring like a Incubus with large lasers, or I know that I'm not sure who's on their roster currently, because I know that they I'm not
we got
seeing
Tio Spouser, Lizzie. I think Tio's last year was running not the Cap Spider, but the one with the insane cooldown and running like just a snub or something like that. And it was devastating. It was painful.
Stimrog was a big fan of like the ER large Kit Fox, and I know that they have played with ABINs in the past, but I don't see them in the lobby unless if they're a rename. But like a ER large Kit Fox would be something that they would have potentially played on this type of a map in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But ABINs has kind of like pet mechs to an extent more than other teams for their players, where they have these off meta mechs that they're very effective with their specific players. So depending who shows up for the match, you see different mechs potentially out of their team, whereas other teams it's more of a structured approach to drop composition, where they're definitely playing more the meta. And their players are just expected to learn the meta mechs. So it'll be a little bit interesting to see what they're doing here.
All right. We're gonna hop to lobby here real quick. Hopefully they did not actually stop. That would be bad. They actually left, so I'll give them a minute here. Since I did say just a couple of minutes for the chat. Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what goes on here again. Like you said,
now,
ABINs, a lot of these top teams have been doing some non-meta stuff and making it work, which is a real tell to the talent
One thing I need to point out here before we launch, the tonnage. You can see the team tonnage here in the lobby. ABIN's is at 475, Clutch is at 465. The limit is 480. Now, being 5 tons low, that's nothing. 15 tons low off of a 480, that is something a little bit kind of noteworthy.
Yeah, expect something fast. This may be a brawl. But I'm gonna switch this over to the Mapcast overlay. Here we go. All right. Actually, let me make sure that the teams are correct. We've got ABINs on team 1, right? Be correct. Now we'll figure it out here in a moment.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I just want to make sure on the scoreboard. Yes, okay, we are correct on that as well.
Just here.
For some reason, that's right. Really, honestly, I do like this map. I like the upgrades. I kind of miss the old one though. I know it's blasphemy, but
you know,
it had its charm. It was painful at times, but
yeah, I wish
they kept it in rotation because it's
of the old Polar Highlands with but before it was taken out, I had one of my favorite matches of all time on that on Polar Highlands. So like literally a week or two before it was removed. So sometimes I do think back fondly to that.
Yeah.
But, I'm looking over here at Clutch. They are bringing 8 small pulse Firestarter, Piranha with heavy meads and light machine gun, Incubus with heavy large, 2 heavy large. So they do have some brawl, some non. Rival Vapor Eagle, 2 ER PPC and 3 light machine gun. Goss quad ER large Mad Cat, Blood Asp with 6 ER large, and an Executioner with 3 ER PPC and some micro laser backup. Last mech here I'm going to grab up the build is that Hunchback 2CA with 4 ER large and 4 ER micro. So they do have a dedicated 4-pack. Well, I mean, if the rival goes with it, maybe it's a 3-pack, and then they've got range out of the rest of their team.
All right, so we've got Gauss and heavy large on Hellfire, which is going to be an interesting one. Not one you typically see. Been seeing a little more lately. We've got a Narc and heavy mediums on a Jenner. Hang on, I'm going to go on a Lerm check here. A Timberwolf, that is just a standard laser vom Timberwolf. Blood Ass with laser vom, large pulse on the Warhawk. I don't know where that Narc is gonna come into use, but that's a choice. All right, so we've and meanwhile we've got a Black Lantern, an Incubus, a Phoenix Hawk on the Wolfpack here.
Yeah, so early cap by Clutch on Theta, now being taken back by the Black Lantern, backed up by some of the rest of the Wolfpack. So there is a Narc on ABINs, but it's just a spotting Narc. It's not a missile Narc. So what Narc does is it basically gives you wall hacks against a mech for like, what is it, 60 seconds? Or they reduce the time. Maybe it's only 40.
It depends on the mech. Some of them have a time booster on it.
Oh, it might
the
have
Arctic Cheetah does, but it's not insignificant. Yeah, it's like a minute and a half, somewhere around there.
So in a trade situation like this, it just means that one mech, every time they go to peak, everyone's going to know exactly where it is while that Narc is on it. That's all that it's doing here. It's not for the missiles.
It may also make them take cover too. An early Narc is usually an indication that Lerms are coming your way and you're going to get to cover as fast as you can. You're going to displace yourself. So it may be a little ploy, or who knows, maybe it was an accidental take.
No,
but it's an interesting use of tonnage.
A few years ago, there was Narc on the Summoner as a strategy where the Summoner popped hard up and throw both PPCs and a Narc at the opponent just for tracking purposes.
Oh no,
that was
totally.
a couple years ago
that,
but, at higher level comp.
In any case, here we go. The Hellfire and the Black Lantern are pushing up. Gonna try to use the Hellfire. Gonna try to trade with the Blood Asp here and actually getting away relatively scot-free. Got a really good burn. On Colonel Renard here.
Looks like there's a little bit of damage.
That was an interesting exchange.
Yeah, Blood Asp is open in the rear. Probably strike damage. 81% damage is pretty spread on their mech.
Yep. But the fact it looked like a good burn got put on that shoulder there.
This Warhack is just...
Yes, it is.
That's an LPL team versus an ER large team, so they definitely are playing more aggressively ABINs. Just kept their back line just continually advancing. Now Clutch is trying to make the rotation out. Photon probably should be going wider with their masking Vapor Eagle here.
Yeah, ABIN's taken the left flank of Clutch here. They're really looking to capitalize it as Clutch shifts around. So we've got a little bit of rotation going on here. A
Yeah,
little bit of NASCAR. It looks like ABIN's clustered on that hill, which is where you want to be. Clutch
or
pulling
Hawk.
away, buying themselves some time. Exactly what they need to
Yeah.
do in this situation.
Hawk was a little bit at the back of the NASCAR, took a lot of damage there.
Yep.
Center
Ooh.
torso is red, but still
Bowser
armored.
should be open. Bowser lost an arm. That's what it is, and is open. So Bowser almost halved here.
Red Chrome's taking significant damage as well. Looks like maybe a little bit of heat damage.
Yep.
No
Oh,
one's down
Valkyr
yet.
here getting in a
Oh,
fight. Texan
first
Scrub
kill.
Lord going down for Abins. I was about to say they're looking a little down on armor here.
Center torso
And
kill
that
on
is what's
Degener.
happening. Yep, very good on Clutch. Zeo's also looking like probably open here somewhere with the Lantern. Yep, almost halved there. Clutch putting in great trades here. Extra better
open.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the Executioner open? You
Center
have a read on
torso
that?
open orange.
Ooh,
So
okay.
they've been buffering for their team playing up front, and they need to rotate out, get that somebody else to come in and share some armor.
Yeah,
You know,
looks like he's tucked in while the Wolfpack or
We've
a
got
couple
a-
of the Incubus Caprana coming to maybe take out Tios.
they had a fight here,
We're
but it
getting a look at the
is
fight.
not Clutch's advantage here. But both teams are kind of backing off, waiting for reinforcements. Tios is going in. Tios is diving. Redneck Geek. Incoming Firestar on the flank. Tios is about to get ganked.
Tios is going to go down here.
Can they
Watch this
return a
happen.
kill here potentially?
Zio's coming in here, though. He's getting back up.
Black Lantern
Tios
masking
getting
in.
away.
Now,
Very
this isn't-
and halved.
Clutch is outnumbered in this fight now, but Tios is almost dead. Their mech is completely trashed right now. Side torso missing there. How's Redneck Geek doing? Damage-wise, they look relatively healthy. Nothing important is open. Just armor's bled off.
Clutch has a very large armor advantage right here.
Caps are ticking.
I mean, that can turn quickly if Abin's looking very open
Redneck
here.
Geek is now isolated from their team. They're going to get caught here. I don't see them getting out of here. Scout Derek with a Phoenix Hawk bringing in. And, well, Zeus and the Black Lantern is taking a lot of damage, but nothing's
there
missing
goes
yet.
Redneck Geek. That's going to even it up on
Caps are
player
500
count,
for
but
Aubins. Clutch needs
that
to
is
make a
going to
move for
become
the
an
caps.
issue, actually. Yep.
And with
looks
missing a
like-
mech from their wolf pack, their main body needs to get aggressive here.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think they know quite the advantage that they have in armor here. Looks like Legal looking to take Theta there. That's going to be a big one, but he's got Overwatch there from
They need a 4 cap
couple
at
of
this
beat up
point,
mechs.
Clutch.
Yes,
Recap
yes, they do.
will not do it at this point. So
Right, there goes
Valkyr,
Epsy.
55% in that Firestarter. But if they get that Black Lantern early pick here, they could maybe win the fight against the Phoenix Hawk. Valkyr needs to look at the Black Lantern.
All right, yep. That's going to be over on MWO Leagues 2. Looks like he's got that coverage of the fight. I'm covering the Theta fight over here, which is cooled off. So it looks like Abins is going to hold on to Theta.
Valkyr's lost the side torso, goes down. So Black Lantern's
and
still
there goes
up,
extra
which
better
is,
on that XE.
Zeo's not able to participate and fight anymore with the amount of damage they've taken, but they can go run around the map and take all the caps.
Yeah, there's Abins taking Epsy back.
600 points on that cap. Everybody needs to be pressing on the side of Clutch, but they are down players.
Oh yeah. Looks like Legal just got some sort of damage here. It sounded like a big one. Probably halved would be my guess. Let's see if I can click. Yep, that is halved.
This Vapor Eagle needs to go capping. That's what the situation currently is.
There we go.
Clutch.
414712 goes down. That's a fantastic name to pronounce. Yeah, so it looks like
we have a fight over on
Abin's
Theta.
catching ahead, but
Gosspeep's trying to take the cap.
difference. Yeah, Gosspeep's getting shot up by 3 mechs. That's not good trade.
Yeah, it's good. It's a desperation play, but they're not favored in this fight.
Yeah, no, it's over. I don't think they can get it back unless they get like a 5 cap at this point. We're so close. So it looks like I would almost say Clutch is probably going to take it on wins, but they're going to lose hard on those caps. They let those caps go for a little too long.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Abin's pulling some major focus fire here. Despite
Clutch
that
is running
armor
out to try and get the
disadvantage.
caps, so they're now getting picked off in like 2v1s and 3v1s.
Yeah.
So
There we go. Now it's coming up.
Gas Guzzler open center torso
Gas
goes
Guzzler's
down.
going to go down. Yep.
This Phoenix Hawk is cleaning up from Scout Derek. Nothing's really critical on their mech. Open leg now, and that's the cap win.
There it is. That's the cap win.
So when it got to that cap situation there, the main body from Clutch needed to play a little bit more aggressive. Initially, the damage looked good on their side, but they didn't. They needed to switch to putting more aggressive pressure on there at one point.
Yeah.
It was close though. So we've got You know, this is a 7 seed versus a 2 seed, so
Yeah.
you know, this is a close close drop here.
All right. Oh, hey, why didn't that refresh? 1 second, folks. Let me get that scoreboard refreshed. What on earth is happening? Where's my... I'm sorry, folks. Looks like our scoreboard is not populating.
It's
We've got the score there, but not the...
It's working for me just without the... There's no team logos for some reason.
Interesting. It's not giving me the damage numbers. Let me resubmit this match ID and see what happens here. Sorry about that, folks.
Okay.
All right.
I've got it pulled up on my screen here.
Yes, thank you. Go check out MWO Leagues 2 for Therex's point of view. All right, so we are going to Mining Collective. We are switching sides.
So damage totals higher than some of the previous match. A lot of the drops between Equilibrium and Casterian's guards have low damage. This is not the case here. We've got multiple players with 500 damage, multiple players with 400, 300 damage from both teams. Overall, it looks like maybe Clutch did more damage total. Tex and Scrublord and that Jenner 2C going down a little bit early. And Mech Warrior with numbers behind their name. I don't know who that actually is. I could guess, but I'm not going to. In the Warhawk, also coming up a little bit lower on the damage in terms of what you'd expect from that tonnage. But Scout Derek with 4 kills and 500 damage kind of pulling it out for their team. And really it was a cap win in the end, so you know, time spent capping is definitely something to look at as well for these players.
Indeed. All right. Yeah. So going over that one, as we have been, I know, we kind of talked about the caps. Actually, a lot of our fight was kind of around Theta here. So we had, let's see, what am I looking at here? We had some shots happening up here. Come on, let that go. And we had some movement around this side as well for a while. But honestly, there's only so much, sorry, checking on the banter here. There was a lot of movement happening around on these teams.
Yeah. It was an aggressive push right from spawn, yes. From ABINs. They pushed through Theta with their assaults, kind of had their lights taking some of the attention early away from them so that they could actually get their LPL assaults in there relatively unscathed.
Yep.
And Clutch, they had you know, they had to rotate out of a position. They had a trade position, but then they dropped into the low ground to try and run away from the push. And they did a pretty good job receiving, but you know, ultimately they got some of their lights picked off around Theta, and the caps just got away from them.
Yeah, and it's you know, they did need to pay attention to those caps, but oh man, they had actually a really good lead for a while there. They just never, as we were saying, they never really capitalized it. What they could have done is take a push. I'm going to use the...
Hey, is your stream still up?
My stream should still be up.
I'm hearing that maybe it's down.
Oh, hang on. Oh, it is. What the heck? That's interesting. It is showing up on my end. I have no... Oh, you know, there it is. There is a disconnect within. It is attempting reconnect.
Okay.
Right, hang on.
Well, yeah. Anyway, we can just keep going here. I'm going to keep talking a little bit on this map strat. Yep. It came down to caps, and it was kind of there was a good fight around Theta for Clutch. They kind of had a numbers advantage around Theta until the reinforcements masked in from ABIN. So somebody called it out. And Black Lantern and the Hellfire Void came charging in and turned the numbers at Theta there. And then on the exit, the Incubus for Clutch kind of got split off from its teammates and ended up going down in a outnumbered fight. Whereas if they had stuck with their team, maybe they could have actually saved their mech or dropped a couple of their opponents there, which would have made a big difference when trying to spread out for the caps. And maybe that was a bit of a difference there on the wolf pack. What we're seeing from ABINs there, they definitely had a clear 4-pack with the Jenner went down early, but you've got a Phoenix Hawk, the Hellfire, Black Lantern, Incubus. That is 4 speedy mechs plus the dead Jenner. So they essentially had a 5-pack there. And then on the opposing side for Clutch, they only had the Piranha, the Incubus, and the Firestar. They were electing to buffer a little bit more into trades with the Hunchback 2CA. And the Vigal hero rival, which wasn't with the light pack. They have mask on that Vapor Eagle. It does have a little bit of speed, but they weren't really participating in it on that light fight. And it came down to the lights being dead for Clutch or losing the fight for Clutch, and that's what determined the win. So you either have to see the Vapor Eagle adjusting to try and play with the lights in that situation, or you have to see the main body from Clutch making more aggressive plays because the caps are just getting out of control. And that's something that everybody on the team has to be watching the cap ticket and trying to like update the team lead there, get the coordination called for if that push is being called. And I'm not convinced that the push would have been successful. There is a weapons difference between LPLs and Gauss ER large in terms of how a push is going to end up going. But there was a bit of I believe there was a damage lead there for Clutch. They could have maybe made that move a little bit sooner. But that might be something to look at adjusting here for Clutch in their drop deck, making sure that they have a little bit more in that wolf pack. A lot of these drops do come down to who has the winning wolf pack, who can apply pressure with their 3-pack or 4-pack, or in this case, ABIN essentially was running a 5-pack, so might be an adjustment to make there for Clutch.
Yep. Gonna move us on to mining while we wait for my stream delay to clear here.
Yep.
So yeah, let's take a look at what the heck.
Let's
weird. Okay. There it is. The markings ported over, interestingly enough. But in any case, here we are on mining. Clutch with team 1 side, that is the side with the obstructed view. ABIN's ending up with
that
the better side.
So either maybe it was a misclick or they have something planned out.
It's a small advantage, right?
Yeah.
They can ultimately, I think it's got slightly easier access to the Echo 4 high ground, so that might be what they're going for. Or they might be going for an interesting push where it really doesn't matter where that is. So we let them sort of sort that out. But yeah, and we talked about this in the interim here. Again, we've got these sort of spots that you don't want to go.
Yeah.
Sort of these
base
dead
of the ramp,
zones.
essentially.
Yeah, bases of the ramps are just like dead zones. The power here, I'll put green for the power positions.
Sure. If you are looking to make a push as a team on this map, you want to be using the ramps over here that in Charlie 4, Charlie 5, there's more angles, more room there, as opposed to pushing over these side ramps around the Theta tabletop.
All right, hang on. Let me see how long I've got. 200 seconds. What is that out to be? That's like 3 minutes.
So for trade positions on this map for Team 1 side, you've definitely got, cakes available to you if you like to go for that. There's some other high ground positions in various locations that teams can elect to trade from if they do elect to play the range trade. And I don't know if either of these teams are dedicated to playing that range trade game. ABIN's plays a more aggressive style, generally speaking, in my mind, from what I've seen from them.
Mm-hmm.
They do take some range trade element, but on Polar Highlands we saw them running a 5-pack. On something like Mining Collective, I wouldn't expect them to run more than a couple of traders, just the way that their team plays out their style. They're more aggressive, and I'm not sure we're gonna see like a stalemate trade game here, as opposed to not necessarily an all-out brawl push, but a pressure play, like a slow push, or clan LPLs type stuff. I mean, Pop-Tarts are very strong on this map, though. Definitely could see some mechs that are good at Pop-Tarting. The jump jets in general on Mining Collective are very, very strong. And I don't know if either team, like, quick play on this map, teams just kind of go up the ramps and just sit on Theta. That's kind of the extent of their strategy. You don't see that in competitive play. Teams do take Theta, but they'll send like a light or two, maybe 3 lights up there, and not the main body. The main body's going to be doing something else, either pushing around on a side or getting up high and taking a range trade position.
All right. Yeah, we're getting some pushback saying 5-minute delay. It is no longer a 5-minute delay. That is something to note.
Yeah.
Now a 7-minute delay.
Yep. Trying to just protect team strategies a
Any
little better.
second. Unfortunately, if we end up with a stream hiccup, this is what happens. I've got just over a minute left on this, and we should be good to go. I wish there was some sort of a, hey, this is something that happened to your stream notification, but I've got nothing. It was streaming on my end, and then it's just like, just kidding. You're no longer on Twitch.
Well, that's part of the reason why we're doing 2 different Twitch channels right now. So anyone watching, you can watch on MechWarrior Online's main channel or MechWarrior Online's 2. And hopefully at least one of the streams is going to be up at all times. Yeah. And you can also get different camera angles. You know, maybe Ivor might be covering the main body, I'm covering the light fight, or something of that nature. So if one of us misses something on stream, hopefully the other person catches it.
Yes. All right. We are 20 seconds away.
Well, what else is there to discuss
So
here?
close. I know. Other than who knows what kind of weird streaming issue is going on.
Yeah. I keep checking here and making sure that mine's up, but so far so good.
Thank you for catching that when you did. I was not too far away. All right, so just checking up. We should be going live on MWO Leagues. I've got an ad. Looking at my preview, I have a preview. All right, we are good to go. All right. Launching the second map here.
Yeah, Clutch is at 470 tons.
Oh, I never hit enter.
480.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Therex, for filling in with all the filler while I scramble for figuring things out. All right, we are back.
All right, can Clutch turn it around? We're doing best of 5 here, so yeah. You know,
I went into somebody's cockpit. Cool. Love it.
All right, here we are.
Well, we'll just watch this while it happens here. Watch people load in. There we go. Now I can hop out of a mech, maybe.
Okay, I'm looking at ABIN's side here as they're pulling in.
Oh God.
I can pull up these builds here.
I'm canted. This is awful. Hang on. Am I still canted? No.
Direwolf W with 2 Gauss, 4-year large. Mistlinks going for the cap right off the spawn. Standard machine gun with heavy meads ER small. So not the heavy machine gun. Executioner with ERPPC and small pulse ER micro. So 2 ERPPC on that Executioner, maybe a bit more of an aggressive build there. Summoner is laser vomit, heavy large ER mead. Crusader is snub-nose PPC small laser. We have a Phoenix Hawk going for Theta here. Scout Derek is putting it up with 3 light PPC and a bunch of small laser. Actually a fight right at the start here.
Yeah, and we've got I don't know what Clutch is doing. They've got, looks like they're maybe doing 2 mechs on Overwatch and a push, because that Crusader is snubs. The Arctic Wolf obviously is SRMs.
ERPPC Shadow Cat here from ABIN's.
Yep, that makes sense. They've got some wicked shooters over there. We've got Colonel David playing over here by Kappa. In an ER large stalker. I don't know if he's going to be able to see too terribly much. I think he's expecting more of a fight over there, moving more towards the center. Gauss Peep in the timber over here. This is another kind of standard meta laser bomb going on here with the large pulse and the ER meads. So I'm not sure. I would expect them to try to take this this Kappa Sigma side. As ABIN's is splitting the map to the south, it looks like.
One mech here that does not Javelin with 3 light PPCs, Javelin 10F. I'm not familiar with that build whatsoever. Are there quirks on that mech?
You know, I'm not sure. That's not one that I usually play. There could be, but it could just be a general.
Seems that's something that I would call off meta.
Powerful, maybe, but it's a powerful enough build on the light.
Direwolf's getting dove here. Mech Warrior with numbers is about to get jumped. They have no support from their team. This is a dead mech.
Yeah.
They're dropping to the low ground, gonna make a rotation. Maybe their team will be able to put some damage on while that Direwolf's getting picked off. But at the same time, looks like ABIN's is pressuring the back end of Clutch.
Yep, that's exactly it. Aubins is actually going to end up corralling Clutch here in the corner.
Javelin's
Uh,
only getting down now, and Mistling's taking a
yep,
lot of damage. That Direwolf might not go down.
yep. There goes Valkyr.
Center torso
Mech
kill.
able to take them down.
And Javelin's trying to run away now from Scout Derek with the snub nose
Yep.
and small lasers. So Redneck Geek, can they get out? And that fell apart for Clutch.
Yes, it
Not
did.
not
And
anticipating
the
that.
Direwolf got away. That needed to actually. Where is Zeus? How bad are we? Open leg damage all over the place. They needed to focus fire a little bit more. Dropping off that ledge was exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah,
Um,
the Arctic Wolf here doesn't have jump jets, and this is a mining collective map. Like, it can't get over to jump
yep.
onto that Direwolf. And then the Javelin isn't really a build that wants to dive, so
Yep, there goes Redneck in that Javelin, only getting chased down. Now here we have something that we were talking about in the interim. If you end up with a fight on the outside here over by like Sigma or Kappa, the team that takes the high ground is going to have an incredible advantage, and that's what we're seeing right here. ABIN's just laying into whoever's next here. Extra better. Legal going down in short auto. Gas Guzzler almost dead here. CT is, yep, right there. That just using that high ground to that advantage takes away some of the cover that they can use. Clutch just getting tucked into this corner.
Yeah, the Direwolf not going down, and nothing went right for Clutch on this drop here.
All right, here we've got David Renard here. Gonna go down here shortly.
Yeah, Stalker. I didn't even see that Stalker initially. I somehow missed that.
Yeah, he was off on the Kappa side. Goth Peeps tucked in here. Will he be able to take Rick Rom? Oh no, he's got that Direwolf to trade with. Rick Rom very cooked. That's all internal damage.
Yeah.
Nicely managed by Rick Rom there, not losing anything.
Okay, so that push on the Direwolf, it should have succeeded, but the mechs weren't there. The Arctic Wolf on this map, I'd call it a mistake. Not having jump jets on a brawler on this map is basically a death sentence. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't get that pick. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's something I don't understand. But
it's an incredible SRM bomber. It is put out so much damage, but like you said, without the jump jets, it's got to run around literally everything to get there. Let's see if my scoreboard's going to work this time.
There are maps I would take it on, and there are maps I would not take it on. And I would not take it on this map. On just something to look at changing potentially.
Yeah.
So with that, we have a second win going to Aubins. Get that scoreboard updated here if I can do that. There we go.
No, and actually, did we? No, we did get that. Back to the left.
Doesn't want to.
Right. I'm going to move us over to the map screen for sort of a little debrief. If you can do that while I'm getting these teams spots.
Sure. I'm just going to run through the damage here real quick. Top damage in the match, Lizzie and the Executioner, Rick Rom with 500 damage out of the Summoner as well. So kind of leading their team. Direwolf managed to put out 400 damage, not going down there. And just on the opposing side, you've got lower damage totals from the majority of Clutch. Just did not manage to get. The initial push looked good, but the stalling action from Aubins coming in behind and that Direwolf somehow staying alive kind of was a bit of a decider there.
Okay, sorry. Just check my sound because sometimes that happens when that weird dip happens.
Okay.
But we're good.
I'm going to the map room here if anyone wants to get a quick review. It was a push coming out of, that was Team 1, right? It was Clutch that took the push, and they kind of just went over the side ramps and almost picked off the Direwolf. I'm going to put a little red circle here for where that Direwolf is positioned.
I got a Direwolf marker for you there. There you go.
Perfect. And Direwolf managed to evacuate down to the low ground, and it was chased by 2 mechs from Clutch, which had the ability to go in. The Mistlings kind of was getting ahead of the Javelin, though, and the Arctic Wolf was not able to join. At the same time, we have Aubins. They had moved a number of mechs up, and they rotated around behind and put pressure on the side of Clutch's main body, which kind of just turned into a bit of a kill box. Let's put that kill box in green here.
Right here, I've got one right up there.
Yeah, and it just it's it's a position you have to move through in order to get to the direwolf, but it's not a position you want to stay in for Clutch's perspective here. Just when you're facing against like the Snubnose PPC Crusader, I saw them doing work around the side of this tank. They can make short peeks and get out after having delivered their burst damage, and you're never going to be able to return sufficient fire with with a laser vomit mech in that situation. And it's just that green box ends up being a terrible place to be located. You need to keep moving to get out of that, but they just got engaged on from behind. Their the tail wasn't able to keep up with the leading edge, and even the leading edge wasn't able to make the move that the direwolf with the jump jets was able to make. So some things to change. The percentages were kind of low on ABINs at the end there, but not. I didn't see a whole lot of open center torsos either. There was heat damage there, maybe more than anything else on some of those mechs.
Yes, yeah, they were cooking themselves for the damage very skillfully. So, and actually quite impressive. Who was that? That was the Rick Roms and the Summoner there. It was pretty much all internal damage, and no lost anything. So the spread was very good. It was very well managed. I'm quite impressed at that paper doll we saw at the end there. Let's see what else we got. Once again, we are back up on MWO leagues. It is functioning. Reminder, 7-minute delay there. Also, if you are on MWO leagues, check out MWO leagues 2 for Theric's point of view. As we wait for team 1, it looks like we are at their 2-minute mark. All right.
Yeah, so I guess we're going on to the next map. Next map is going to be
Vitric
Vitric Station. Let's pull that up. So Vitric Station, not really that new of a map anymore. It's been around for over a year now. Everyone's kind of probably familiar with it. These teams, I was saying with Equilibrium versus Casterian Guards when they were playing, I was kind of expecting, range trade positions off to the side. With ABINs versus Clutch, I'm not really thinking that. These teams are going to be playing a little bit more aggressive. I don't know if they're just going to brawl at the Rams, but I'm thinking that they're going to be looking at those Rams. At least one of these teams is going to be looking at crossing those Rams. The other team might be playing receive. I don't know which is which, but I think we might actually have just a ramp brawl from these two teams with a couple of receive mechs, stationed further back. But this might be much more aggressive than some of the other. Between these two teams, this might be more aggressive on Vitric Station than what we've seen in the past. And
I would agree with you there. I will throw in a caveat that Clutch has been just sort of as a unit generally known for a little bit more range trading things, playing around the outside of the map.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I would expect them to honestly try to set up to receive. I think EQ, especially after our last showing, is going to use that aggression. For sure. But I really think that Clutch is going to try to receive that.
When I think of
I don't
Clutch,
think it's going to be face-to-face brawl.
For me, it's more about the backstabs. They'll have a couple flankers trying to backstab. I expect either, going which team side are they on? Are they on? They're playing
ABIN's
team
is
2.
team 1 side. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Clutch is team 2. So they might be trying to play, coming around side ramp or even going wide with a couple of mechs and shooting from side flanks, which have some mechs set up back to receive and then some backstabbing mid-range vomit or something of that nature from Clutch. That's what I would kind of suspect, as opposed to more of the sit back at the extreme ranges. With the bulk of their team, they might be a little bit more positioned up with a few and then trying to backstab.
Yeah, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna.
Like I
definitely don't think they're gonna hold way the heck back.
Yeah, like your Direwolf, Marauder 2.
Yep.
Like that's not what I'm thinking of for Clutch.
No. I think smarter things. But that being said, both teams are locked now, so let's hop on into it.
And they're each at 480 tons. I'm seeing that correctly. Yes. Okay.
Into our match.
Yeah, so this is the third drop. So far, it's 2-0 in the favor of ABINs. It's a best of 3. So Clutch needs to pull out a win here to keep going.
Yep. And after the polar match, I'll be very interested. Like, I feel like they've got the capability. They need to
Yep.
pull it out. Obbins was making some mistakes there. Clutch unable to capitalize ultimately. But here we go. Looking at they enter so far out. Okay. We got a Mistlynx, Arctic Wolf, Dire Wolf, Kodiak. This is looking a little pushy on the Clutch side. So I am proven wrong here. Huntsman probably. Find that Huntsman here. We go. Probably SRMs. No, DACA. This is a whole lot of DACA. All right, so Clutch going for a mid-range DACA, maybe with a push option. Be
Ooh.
interested to see that. What are we looking at for Obbins?
So I was over on the Clutch side. I'm going to jump over.
Okay.
We've got a Crusader with mid-range Vomit, ER Large, and LPL, ER Mead, sorry. Kodiak 3 with mid-range AC10 ERPPC, so mid-range pinpoint. Highlander with 4 PPCs, standard PPCs, and MRMs, 3 MRM10. And Night Gear UAC 10, UAC 5, so definitely mid-range stuff. They've committed a fair bit.
Oh, hang on, I'm going
to
cut you right off here. Tios is in a precarious position here. He is alone. There's 3. They don't know he's there. If they figure that out, that's a 4v1 jump right there. He's in a very bad spot.
Yeah, he's got light PPCs. He's looking to just put in some flank damage there.
Yeah, but if the unfortunately this team also groundbound. We were talking about those Jets. Valkyr down to 89%. Tios hanging out above them. I don't think they know. They got to throw up a UAV. Tios can see all of them. There we go. All right, and Tios getting back among the fold, being spotted. No point. Not a capitalization on that momentary disposition. But again, they don't have the eyes in the skies that we do. Wolfpack still hanging off there. Abins knows exactly where they are. Let's see here. Mech Warrior coming up. They are pushing up. Abins looking like they're getting in very aggressive positions here.
So this is definitely a receive from Clutch. You did call it correctly. Builds are, definitely a little bit mid-range with the AC5 Direwolf. It's not Gauss ER Large. Nike's got
here we go. Texan
scrub
rolling around to find Redneck around here. This is jump. This is Wolfpack fight going on over here. Valkyr getting the focus at 70-something%. It's dropping fast.
Now this is an outnumber fight here.
Oh, here we go. Zeos getting opened up real bad there. Let's see how we're going here.
Clutch's lights and no support
Zeos
here.
Escaping. Valkyr still in the mix. It is a whole ass mix
Zeos
up here. Redneck Geek among the blues. Yep, there goes Valkyr. They're not focusing Redneck, which they should be. He's just hanging out there in the middle of all of them. Bowser a little stuck up against the wall in that Crusader.
Are they stuck on terrain? No, they're still moving.
Yeah, still moving. Hey, there's targets to shoot, and he's not really getting shot at all, right? So might as well. Zeo's raining down. Redneck Geek getting some shots in on Bowser there. It's a real mix up. Redneck Geek getting legged. Next leg almost there. Definitely cooking, trying to get that out. And we are 0-2 at the moment in favor. 0-3, sorry, as some of the traders start going down. Bowser's starting to get some focus here from Colonel Renard. Photon looking a little messed up.
So here we have Clutch's main body has made it to the fight now. Kodiak just goes down instantly, though, as they arrive. Gas Guzzler is now the focused target here. And numbers are just down for Clutch right now. So this
and we see that CT focus on the Direwolf. Like, it's the focus fire here on Obbins is what pulled him out. Zeos with some good escapes going on here, too. What are we looking at here? Here's Gauss Peeps with the Night Gear tucked into the tunnel for some reason. Gonna get jumped by the Firestarter Phoenix Hawk Mistlynx over here. Sorry, we totally missed those.
Down. And last one is that
Wolf, there's Photon,
which is gone in trying to get a pick. It does not find the angle, though.
Obbins with the cleanup. That all happened so fast. Good focus fire.
Zeos is at 14% on their Shadowhawk, and the game's still showing them alive to me.
No, that is that is correct.
That is 14%. That is quite impressive to me, just in terms of they were lagged. It might have been a focus fire issue, but they did manage to stay up.
Indeed, they did, which is good. Was able to get out there and continue raining damage. That's a major thing. Let me see here. Yes, we are looking at the right one. Here are the scores, looking at the damage, honestly, a good spread among both teams. Lizzie and Rick Ron with those 560, 550. Definitely putting up there. That Arctic Wolf, though, pulling out 500 damage as well. Mistlink's a little anemic on the damage there, but on par with the other team's Mistlinks. I mean, looking at the damage, it's almost even.
Yeah.
The focus fire, though, on Abin's just dropped mechs so fast. And again, we see another team with that focus fire making all the difference.
Yeah, very aggressive play there
opportunities
from
squandered.
ABIN's, and Clutch's backlines wasn't really able to participate in that fight when the lights were being engaged, whereas the high ground assaults from ABIN's were able to shoot down. Legal put out 500 damage in their Arctic Wolf 1 before going down. That is a significant amount of damage from that 40-ton mech. No kills picked up on the side of Clutch, even though they got some side torsos off there. I know that the Kodiak was missing a side torso on the side of ABIN's, but mech stayed up.
Yeah, absolutely. Impressive damage spread on the point of ABIN's across the board there. Now I'm all right. Just checking on this stuff. Massacre not showing up right on MWO Leagues 2. Interesting. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but that might be
the
something
overlay didn't want to update. It's
gotcha.
updated now.
Fair enough. Yes, sometimes it takes a minute.
It doesn't want to refresh
but
all
thanks
the time.
to both teams, well played by ABIN's there. We're not gonna go over that one too much. It was just a whole ass brawl.
Yeah.
Basically,
it came down to high ground able to participate in that dive versus the range receive on the opposing side wasn't able to support their lights on the opposite side of the Citadel.
That is also a big thing. And then their Wolfpack just got absolutely junked by almost the whole team of ABIN's there.
Yeah.
It was great response there. All right. Let's see what we've got. Oh man, when's the next one? Do we have a whole half hour to kill here?
The next match is scheduled to start at 2035, what I'm seeing. So that would be a half hour from now.
About a half hour from now. All right.
I've got some sandwiches to eat. I need to refill my water bottle. So
you go ahead, take your bio break. Let's let me see if I can find something to talk about here. Let's talk.
I'll throw up.
I'll take a look at.
I'll just throw up the timer here, because we can take a 5-minute break.
I will keep talking.
Okay.
On MWO League.
I'll leave the map room up then. I'll leave the map room up for you.
So I will talk about Crimson Strait here. This is a map that has some diversity. Talking about general positions here. Let's talk about the island first. The island is a really important spot on this map. It is very easily accessible by both teams and has just an absolute commanding view. I'm just going to put this our sight lines here to some really important positions, right? They can see on the platform coming out the tunnel. They can fire up onto the saddle. They can even fire in between some of these buildings here, and of course on Insigma. These are all very. Oh, and also you can get some coverage of EPSI as well. Just looking at the sheer amount of important sight lines here, it's honestly a pretty crucial spot. Okay, this is the place for snipers. Everyone knows the snipers here. It is not unassailable. You can, and it can be used as cover too. So like, let's see here. Team 2 could come up here around the back to assault Epsilon 2 along the back of the snipers if they're not paying attention. And then actually they can carry it up into this island spot here. I mean, they can just cross in as well. But to do that, you got to cross the open water. There's couple of short paths. Is a little trickier to take off of the Team 1 side. So if you've got a light on EPSI Gamma that's looking to capitalize on it, they basically have to go over the water to get to those snipers. And if they're paying it at all attention, it is just going to, well, you're just going to get shot in the face, right? So that is essentially the island and why it's important. You can counter it a little bit from the platform here. Right. You've got some, that's a really, really terrible line there. I'll just fix that up. You've got some shots up here onto the island. And again, if you basically take any of these sight lines, you can kind of counter it. But the thing is with the island, you can fit 3 or 4 mechs here. Basically the platform is your only real counter to that, because if you're trading over here in Gulf 5, you're going to have 3 mechs poking through more or less the same channel, while you can only really have 1 mech going out. It's a real lopsided position. So consider that. Here's another thing to consider is saddle. Saddle is a very dangerous place. For one, you've got multiple shots that can come up from, say, Delta 7, Echo 7 from the Theta region, right? You can lob some back. It's really a little bit dynamic. But you can also get shot here from the island as well. You've got basically, if you have a team that's split, saddle is very, very dangerous, which in terms of the competitive series could be a bit at issue. A team could split, probably not. You're probably going to get 1 light going off to Theta from each team over the saddle and around the back here, the upper city into the Theta area. So those are big things to keep to be aware of. If you've got a brawl team, actually, hang on, I'm getting past myself. So team 1, some of those advantages we saw from EQ earlier today, playing on Crimson Straight, go back a little, I guess, in the previous cast now, since I had some sort of a hiccup. There is team 1 can go straight to Epsi here, pause and trade. So if you get this Epsi spot, they had basically three assaults making these trades here. You've got decent sight lines. So if you've got anyone taking the saddle, it's a great intermediate place to set yourself up. That being said, you don't want to stay there because you're going to lose your angles really quick. So what they did was they pushed up to the island and took all those shots. You don't want to get corralled on this map, but this is the way to set up your traders, and then your wolf pack can play around the Echo 4, Echo 5, maybe even the Theta, using that tunnel to move around a little bit, depending on how well your traders are doing. From the Team 2 side, you get up on that platform, you can trade, you can even make a play for the island. Like, this is not necessarily a Team 1 thing. Team 2 can get to that island. I'm using the wrong tool there, sorry. Team 1 can get up onto the island. It's going to take them a little bit more time. There we go. But they can do it. There are some sniper positions relatively close up here, Gulf 5-ish. Again, you can use that. There's like a little cubby there, like right on the Gulf 5 numbers that you can use to trade with the island. But it's going to take you forever to get there, and you're probably going to take some hits along the way. Basically, Team 2, you need to move out. You need to disperse your positions kind of along this. You need to take the platform and figure out where the other team is. So scouting, very, very, very important on this map. Theta, well, actually, that's probably talking about the trade positions again. Island, platform. Moving on to where teams might want to go here. You've got Theta here. Theta is an important point because obviously Sigma, Kappa, Gamma, FC, those are givens. You might be able to get a backup here or there, but Theta is going to be important to control unless you're doing a brawl. If you're doing a brawl, actually here, I'll just bring some brawl lines here. You've got a couple options here from Team 2. You can just come across there. You can try to push across here. That's really iffy. Or you could try to, if you want to go the long way and just really control Theta, leave like a sniper on the saddle, but that's going to get capitalized. So actually, I'm going to erase that line. That's not a good line. Team 2, again, you've got essentially the same. That's unfortunate why that happened. But yeah, you can go back out over. Team 2, you could also potentially go in side tunnel here and out tunnel, or just basically straight into them. So Team 1 has some good push. Well, so if you're doing a push, you don't have to worry about Theta. You're going to be crashing into the next team. That being said, you should maybe send something quick, like a little commando, or if you're feeling brave, a capping spider. But they got to get back into the fight. That's the important part. If you're trading, you got a little more time to worry about. You would think that holding the saddle here would be good against Theta. And it is. You can get a couple shots in here, especially from some of these outlying areas here in Fox 7. But if you do that, you are giving up basically all of this. You need traders here. You need traders here. It's a big split. You need to commit. 1 second. Opening or. All right. Oh, actually, you know what? I have important question. On the next match. Oh no, that was on the thing. So we're going as usual. So we've got 5 JDX KDCM coming up. Sorry about the break there. All right, back to Crimson Straight. Yeah, so that Theta point can be important. It's probably going to be left there, maybe flipped. It's nothing to commit too much to. I'm sorry. It's a giant turtle eating. Oh my God, it is. All right. All right. Answered some questions there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started for the next drop. So next up, we've got 5 JDX versus KDCM, which should be a very interesting match here. So you're going to see some back-end stuff because I've lost some features on my streaming software. But crazy, so don't get too excited. Things to remember, we are on a 7-minute delay. So that is something that as we recently worked with. Let's see. Yes, logos are showing up correctly. All right. So, and actually I will, oh, we've already, sweet. Derek set that up before he went. Excellent. So yeah, we are, it's a giant turtle eating a rock. God damn it. Who said that? Basalt, damn you. That's going to be